Okay, assessment review. If you have the packet, this is what you see. If you got the document, this is what you see. It's the same problems. Okay, you're going to need to get a piece of graph paper out, and the directions are solve the system by graphing. Here's the first two, and I'll repeat the problem twice. Number one, y equals negative x plus 3. Again, that's y equals negative x plus 3. Then y equals x plus 2, y equals x plus 2. To solve the system by graphing, you graph both equations on the same place. So you make a table, and on one side you go y equals negative x plus 3. On the other side, y equals x plus 1. Now make a wall on your y side. The y is by itself, okay? So you have your m, which is negative 1, your b, which is 3. Negative 1 over 1 is a slope, plus 3 is a y-intercept. So 1, 2, 3. And from there I go down 1, forward 1. Need a ruler or a straight edge, something to make a straight line with. Okay, now graph the other equation. Y equals x plus 1. The y again is by itself, so you have your m and your b. So slope is 1 over 1. yn is plus 1. So plus 1. Go forward 1, up 1. So up 1, you already got a point, up 1, forward 1. And you see they're going to cross, okay? So you line up your straight edge and make the line. Okay guys, now just you got to know how to put your answer. It's a coordinate xy. Start in the middle. Well, you have to go forward 1, so positive 1. And you go up, so you count by positive, positive 1, positive 2. 1, 2. X is 1, y is 2. Okay, number 3, you got 2x minus y equals negative 5. 2x minus y equals negative 5. And then you have negative 2x minus y equals negative 1. 2x minus y equals negative 1. So make your table. 2x minus y equals negative 5. Negative 2x minus y equals negative 1. Make a 1, your y, the y isn't by itself, so you put a 1 plus negative dot circle. You do not want that as a negative. If it is, you need to change the signs to the opposite. So the opposite of 2 is negative 2, the opposite of negative 1 is positive 1. The opposite of negative 5 is positive 5. Now you add 2x, make a 0x, and add 2x there. So line up your equals. So you have 1 dot y, 0 plus 2 is 2, and then plus 5. Then divide by 1, and y is equal to 2x plus 5. So you got your m and your b. So the slope is 2 over 1. The y-int is plus 5. Okay, so plus 5 is the y-intercept. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Then from there I go forward 1, up 2. Okay, then you take a straight edge and make a straight line. Okay, then the next one, same idea. Okay, may put a 1 plus negative. You got to get the y by itself. Again, you have to do the opposite because you don't want that as a negative. So positive, positive, positive. Then you minus 2x to get rid of positive. Then you make 0x and minus 2x there. So I line up my equals. I put 1 times y. 0 minus 2 is negative 2, and then plus 1. Divide by 1. negative 2x plus 1, and then you got m and b. So slope, negative 2 over 1, and the y is plus 1. So plus 1's there, and then forward 1, down 2. Okay, they cross right here. Now if it's not perfectly on the line, just put it what it's close to, okay? So here's the middle. I have to go backwards, so negative 1, then I'm right on a vertical from it. And then 1, 2, and then about 3. Since I went up, that's positive. Negative 1, 3. Okay. Next problem. Y equals 2x minus 1. Y equals 2x minus 1. And then we have 3y equals 6x minus 3. 3y equals 6x minus 3. So y equals 2x minus 1. And then 3y equals 6x minus 3. Y is by itself there, so you got your m and your b. So slope y-n, so slope's 2 over 1, minus 1's a y-intercept. So minus 1, and from there you go forward 1, up 2. Okay, and there's your line. Now this one, the y is not by itself. It's got a 3, so you dot circle it. Put a check mark because it's already positive, so you don't have to do the opposite. And you don't have to add or subtract anything. You just go straight to the divide. Then y will clearly be by itself. Okay, it's going to be 2x minus 1 plus negative 1, whatever. Okay. Then MB, so slope would be 2 over 1, of course, and the y-intercept would be negative 1. Okay, so I've already got negative 1 from the other line, then I go forward 1, up 2. Oh, there's already a point. Oh, there's already a point. That's the same line, so it's IMS, infinitely many solutions. Okay, next problem. Solve by substitution. Substitution means you find a base variable. 2x plus 2y equals 38. 2x plus 2y equals 38. And y equals x plus 3. Y equals x plus 3. So there's two answers for x, y. Okay, substitution means you need to find a base variable. You have one right there. That's your base. And this is what that base equals. Now write your non-base. 2x plus 2y equals 38. And then the base y needs to come out and replaced with 1x plus 3. Now line this up. So you got 2x plus 2 parentheses 1x plus 3 equals 38. Okay, now we have x and x, so we solve for x. So 2 times 1x times 3, so it's 2x and 6. Drop your plus and put what you got for your product, 2x plus 6. That's gone, and then you add the 2x from the front. That's a 6 there, sorry. Okay, you add the x's, you just connect them and add them. So it's 4x plus 6. Okay, so minus 6, that's 32. And divided by 4, divided by 4, 32 divided by 4 is 8. So x equals 8. Now to solve for y, use the equation that's got the y by itself. 8 goes in for x, so I put it times. And 1 times 8 is 8, so y equals 8 plus 3. What's 8 plus 3? I think it's 11. Okay. 8, 11. Okay, number 5, y, that's a y right there. Y equals 2x minus 3. Y equals 2x minus 3, and then 3x minus 2y equals 5. 3x minus 2y equals 5. Okay, well, here's the base. It's y. Again, remember, it can be x2. Circle what it equals, then write the other equation. 3x plus negative 2y equals 5. So we're going to get rid of the y and put 2x plus negative 3. Okay, so I drop 3x down, line it up, plus negative 2, parentheses, 2x plus negative 3 equals 5. Okay, now I have x and x. I'm solving for x, so I distribute the negative 2. So negative 2 times 2x and then negative 3. So that's going to be a negative 4x and a 6. So you drop your plus and you put negative 4x and 6. Then you add 3x from the other side because that's still there. Again, don't get rid of the smaller one. They're on the same side, so you add. 3 plus negative 4 is negative 1x, and then plus 6. Now, you got just a single x, you got times, and plus 6. So I minus 6. 5 minus 6 is negative 1, and we got negative 1 times x. So I divide by negative 1, and x equals 1. Okay, now it's time to solve for y. Use the equation, use the base equation because that's the one that's got y by itself. It's a lot easier. So 1 goes in for x. Well, 2 times 1 is 2. So y equals 2 plus negative 3. What's 2 plus negative 3? It's negative 1. Okay, next one. Solve by elimination now. Elimination, let's set up our answer. And I'll read it. 6x plus 5y equals 39. 6x plus 5y equals 39. And then 3x plus 5y equals 27. 3x plus 5y equals 27. Now, eliminations where you line up and you need to get either the x column or the y column to add to 0. Right now that's 9 and that's 10. So not yet, but you have the same term there. So if you made that negative, you would get your 0y. A positive 5 and a negative 5 add to 0. But then you have to make the 3 opposite and the 27 opposite. You can't forget to do that or you're just wrong. So 6 plus negative 3 is 3x. And then 39 plus negative 27 is 12. So 0y goes away, and we just have 3 times x equals 12. So we just divide by 3, and x equals 4. Okay, now to solve for the y, write down your top equation. 6x plus 5y equals 39. 4 goes in for x, so times, and then 4. So 6 times 4 is 24. So now you have 24 plus 5y equals 39. But we have to get the y by itself. So you take out your 24 by minusing it, and that's 15. Then you divide by your 5, and 15 divided by 5 is 3. So 4 and 3. X 3x is 4, y is 3. Okay, number 7, 5x minus 9y equals negative 43. That's 5x minus 9y equals negative 43. Then 3x plus 8y equals 68. 3x plus 8y equals 68. Remember, that's a negative 9. So 5 plus 3 do not add to 0, neither does negative 9 plus 8. And you don't have the same in either column, so you'll need to multiply by 3 here, by 5 here. Now I times the rest of this equation by 3 and the rest of this one by 5. And then I write a new system. 3 times 15, 5x is 15x. 3 times negative 9y is negative 27y. And then 3 times negative 43 is negative 129. Now the bottom, it's going to be 15x. 8 times 5 is 40y. And I take 68 times 5, which is 340. Okay, so now try to add. Now, you have the same right there, but the only way it's going to add to 0 is if one of them's negative. So there will be the 0x, but then you have to go through that equation, make the rest of them opposite. So it'll be negative 40 and negative 340. So I take negative 27y plus negative 40y, that would be negative 67y. And then I take negative 129 constant plus negative 340 constant, and that would be negative 469 constant. Meaning constant means it doesn't have a letter. So you can get rid of your 0x and then divide by negative 67. So negative 469 divided by negative 67 is 7. Okay, y is 7 now. Pick the first original. 5x plus negative 9y equals negative 43. And then 7 goes in for y. So put it times 7. So we have to find the product of negative 9 times 7. That's negative 63. So we have 5x plus negative 63 equals negative 43. Now you have to get the x by itself. So you got times operation and a plus. So you take out your negative 63 by adding 63. So 5 times x. Negative 43 plus 63 is 20. And then I divide by 5. And 20 divided by 5 is 4. 4 and 7. Okay, number 8. If you're on virtual, I will have scanned this and sent it to you, so you probably want to go into your So yeah, I've scanned this and sent it to you. Find the region that represents the solution to the linear system of inequalities. Now, there's two things, but they're inequalities. So these lines have been graphed already. This one right here is the minus 2, then up 3 over 1. That's the first inequality in this line, and then this is the second line, 3 up 2 over 1. So we have 4 angles, 4 regions, A, B, C, and D. So what we need to do to find the region that is yes for both of them, you need to just do trial and error. A, table, B, table, C, table. Okay, so first off for A, I write both these on each side. Y greater than or equal to 3x, similar to how I do if I have to graph. Now I don't have to graph the line because they're already there. And I need to find a point for x and y to put in. You're running tests on both of them. They have to both be yes for it to be the answer. So A, I'll pick this point here. What is that point? Well, it's right, so positive 1, positive 2, positive 3, positive 4, and then positive 1, positive 2, positive 3. Now what we then do is put 3 in for y, and then put a times, and then 4 in for x. So line up your inequality. This side is set to 3. The other side we need to take 3 times 4 minus 2. That's 10. Obviously that's a no, so I don't even go to that side. A is not the answer. Now B, I just rinse and repeat. Okay, what coordinate you want to pick? It's got to be in the B region, right there. So that is backwards, so -1, -2 is the x, and then down, so -1 is the y. So y, -1, then times, parentheses, and x is -2. 3 times -2 minus 2. So this side you have -1. Then to set the other side, you take 3 times -2 plus -2. That's -8. When you have two negatives, the smaller negative has the higher value, and it eats that, so that's a yes. Now, repeat the same thing here. Y, -1. X, -2. Remember, that's 1/2 times -2 plus 3. So on the other side, I go 1ABC2 times -2 plus 3. I got 2. Okay, I think we have our answer because that's your higher and it eats that, so that's a yes. Stop. Shade your B region. That's where all the points are that are yes for both of them. Okay, number 9. Story problems. Hardcover books cost $3.50 more than paperback books. $198 was collected from selling 20 hardcover books and 12 paperback books. Find how much each type of book costs. You got hardcover books, dollars, and paperback books. That's 3 units, so we organize our work into a grid. So you got together, and then how many units per unit, and total. So the 2 independent units are the hardcover books and the paperback books. And then the money goes with total and with per unit, but it's not how many units, okay? It does not go here. So what's your money total together? It'd be $198. So that's been placed. Now go up top, find me the numbers that don't have dollar labels. Well, 20 hardcover and 12 paperback. Now to find the cost together, 20 plus 12 is 32. Now black that out, don't need it. Now what's left? 350 more. Okay, that means you put a plus 3.50, not just anywhere. It says hardcover books cost $3.50 more, so the plus 3.50 goes for hardcover. We will not need Y in this table. Don't need Y. So if I don't need Y, it's just one equation. What plus 350? I don't know. We're going to put X. And then paperback is just X. Now I multiply. Well, 12 times X is pretty straightforward. That's 12 times 1X, which is 12X. But the other one, you need to put a parentheses around that. And then you need to take 20 times the parentheses X plus 3.50. The reason that's so important to get the parentheses is because you have to distribute. 20 times x, or 20 times 1x is 20x, and plus, then I take 20 times 3.50, which is 70. So this is 20x plus 70. So now I have my equation. I have 198, and then I have 20x plus 70 plus 12x. Okay, you combine your x's by adding. That's going to be 32x plus 70 equals 198. Then I minus my 70, and that's 128. And then I divide by 32. And 128 divided by 32 is 4. So now you come up, x is 4, x is 4. So the paperback books cost $4 per unit. The hardcover books, we take 4 plus 3.50, and that's 7.50 per unit. Okay, number 10. At a football game, student tickets cost $3 each, adult tickets cost $5 each. The school sold 700 tickets. They made a total of $3,078. How many adult tickets, how many student tickets were sold? So you have 3 units again, the students, the adults, and the dollars. If you're on the document, they're in bold to highlight that. Okay, so that's a grid, a 9-box grid. So together, how many units per unit and total? Okay. So money total, money per unit. Student tickets, adult tickets, and now we're ready to go. So your money total is $3,078. Now find me a number that doesn't have a dollar sign. 700 tickets. Now it doesn't say 700 more. It also, however, doesn't say if that's the students or the adults, so that's together. Okay. Now you need x and you need y. So you're going to need to make the cross for a system. And there's your first equation. X plus y equals 700. Now to find our other equation, we need to fill in the cost per unit. So the students cost $3, and the adults $5. That's the adults. Okay, now we're going to take x times 3. Guys, you can put a 1 if you want, but it's 3x. And don't put x3. That looks stupid. It's 3x. And y times 5. It's 5y. And there's your second equation. 3x plus 5y equals 3,078. Well, you're going to use the elimination method. You can't, that does not add to 0, neither does that. Okay, so you're going to need, and you don't have the same in either column. So times 3 times 1 times the rest of this by 3 times the rest of this by 1. So 3 times 1x is 3x, 3 times 1y is 3y, and then 3 times 700 is 2,100. Now the bottom, 3 times 1 is 3x, 5y times 1 is still 5y, 3,078 times 1 is still 3,078. Okay, now you want to add, that's 6x, but if you make it negative, now it's 0x. Make the 5 negative and the 3,078. You can't forget to make those negatives or you're not going to get this right. You take 3 plus negative 5 is negative 2y. Then I take the 2,100 plus the negative 3,078 is negative 978. 0x, you can go. Divide by negative 2. And negative 978 divided by negative 2 is 489. So y is 489. So that's adult tickets. Guys, on a dang story problem, when you find one of them, if you have the together amount, which you do, you can just take 700 minus 489 to get the answer for x. That's 211. If you want to write out 1x plus 1y equals 700 and put that in for y, fine, but I'm just saying it's a quicker way to get the second answer. So put 211 there. Okay, next one, number 11. Angie and Kenny play online video games. Angie buys one software package and 3 months of gameplay. She pays a total of $65. Kenny buys one software package and 2 months of gameplay. He pays a total of $50. Find the cost of a single software package and the cost of a single month of gameplay. Again, 3 units. You're using the grid. Okay, so you got together. How many units per unit, dollars per unit, and then total. Okay, so you got the software packages, and then gameplay. Just put GP. All right, total. There's 2 total costs. You got 65 and 50. So you're going to line up 2 equations down there with a $60, or excuse me, a $65 and a $50. Now those have been placed. Now find me numbers about how many units. Those are the ones that don't have a dollar sign. So one software package, 3 months of gameplay. Now you leave space because if you have 2 totals, you're going to need 2 amounts in each box. Then one software package and 2 months of gameplay. Now together that would give us 4 and 3 respectively. I don't really use those, but yeah. Now I don't have any more numbers, so in these boxes I go right for the variables. I'm going to go x, x, and then I need a different variable here, y, y. So you're obviously going to need your cross. So we're going to take 1 times x, and then 1 times x. It's both 1x. You put the 1 in front, it's still 1x. So 1x, 1x, and then 3 times y and 2 times y. And that's 3y and 2y. Okay, now you have your equations. You're going to have 1x plus 3y equals 65. And then on bottom, 1x plus 2y equals 50. Okay, right there you already have the same thing. So if you make it negative, you'll get to 0x, but then you make the 2 negative and the 50 negative. So 3 plus negative 2 is 1y. 65 plus negative 50 is 15. Get rid of that. So divide by 1, and 15 divided by 1 is 15. So your gameplay amount, cost per unit is $15. So gameplay, 15. Now, unfortunately, you don't have the together sitting right there. So you're going to have to do this the old way where you write 1x plus 3y equals 65, and 15 goes in for y. 15. So 3 times 15 is 45. So we have 1x plus 45 equals 65. So minus 45, and that's 20. So 1x equals 20. And you just divide by 1, which should be 20. Okay. Okay, now the next problem is a little bit different because now you're dealing with percents, number 12. How many ounces of a combination of 20% hydrochloric acid solution and 70% hydrochloric acid solution need to be mixed to obtain 20 ounces of a 50% hydrochloric acid solution? First, you start with your percents. Take your highest percent, 20% of, 70% of, it goes lowest, highest, then the middle, 50% of. Now, the 20 ounces is with the 50, and we don't know the ounces with the 20 and the 70, so that's X, that's Y. Now, move the decimal twice, and that's going to be 0.20 times X, okay? Move the decimal twice, okay? It's going to be 0.70 times Y. Decimal twice, 0.50 times 20. Now make your tip chart and you don't label it. You put 0.20, 0.70, and 0.50. Then you put X, Y, and 20. Okay, so that's your first equation. Obviously you're going to need a system. So we have X plus Y equals 20 for the first equation. Now for the second equation, you go back up here. That'd be 0.20X. So you can put that there. Put 1. That'd be 0.70Y. Put that there. This one we can actually multiply. Since I don't have to deal with a variable, that's 10. Okay? So 10. There's your second equation, but I don't like the decimals, so we're going to times by 100 to get rid of the decimals. So 100 times 0.20 is 20, 20x. 100 times 0.70, it's going to be 70y. And 100 times 10 gives me 1,000. So you're going to times by 20 and you're going to times by 1. The rest of it times 20, the rest of it times 1. So 20 times 1x is 20x. 20 times 1y is 20y. And then 20 times 20 is 400. Then 20x plus 70y equals 1,000. Okay, we're always adding. That'll be negative, that'll add to 0. But then the 70 goes negative, and so is 1,000. So we take 20 plus negative 70, that's negative 50y. And we take 400 plus negative 1,000, that's negative 600. Get rid of that 0x, okay? Then you divide each side by negative 50. And negative 600 divided by negative 50 is 12, okay? Okay, so you got 12. The answer for the 70% is 12. Now, x plus 12 equals 20. Gee, I take this amount and minus 12, and that'll tell me what x is. It's 8. 8 plus 12 is 20. It's a short way when you see the grid. Okay, and then finally, number 13. The ratio of cats to dogs in the animal shelter is 5 to 2. So when you see ratio, you're going to put rate and actual, R and A. Then you can put 5 over 2 and label it cats and dogs. Cats, dogs. And then 7, 5 plus 2 is 7, that's your total. Then I make 3 more this way. There are 63 animals available for adoption. How many of them are cats? How many of them are dogs? 63 animals would be the total, okay? So put times dots. 7 times what? 63. Well, how about I divide 63 by 7 to figure that out? It'd be 9. So you do 10 times all these by 9, and it takes you right to the answers. 5 times 9 is 45, so 45 cats. 2 times 9 is 18. 18 dogs.